The massive ship called Eternal Horizon moved slowly toward the docking station. Captain Kang Tae stood on the bridge, watching the stars through the window. He had spent 30 years in space, but today felt different. Today, humanity was finally being accepted into the Galactic Council as full members. The ship was enormous. It stretched 40 kilometers from end to end and housed 2 million people. It was humanity's greatest creation, built over 20 years with the help of every nation on Earth. Tae felt proud every time he looked at it. "Sir, the council ships are signaling us," said Lieutenant Jin Woo from his station. The young officer looked excited. His first major assignment was going better than expected. "Open the channel," Tae replied. He straightened his uniform and faced the screen. A tall alien appeared. She had blue skin and 4 arms. Her name was Velthara, and she represented the Kryn Empire on the council. Her smile seemed warm and welcoming. "Captain Tae, welcome to Nexus Station," she said. Her voice was smooth and pleasant. "We are honored to finally welcome humanity into our community. Please proceed to Docking Bay 7. We have prepared a great celebration for you and your crew." "Thank you, Ambassador," Tae said. "We are honored to be here." The channel closed. Tae looked at his crew. They were all smiling. Some were even cheering quietly. This was a good day for humanity. After 50 years of contact with alien races, they were finally equals. Chief Engineer Hai Yuna walked onto the bridge. She was young but brilliant. She had designed most of the ship's core systems herself. "Captain, all systems are ready for docking. The Council wants us to connect to their power grid for the ceremony. They say it's standard procedure." Tae nodded. "Do it. Let's show them that humans can follow protocols." The ship moved into position. Huge mechanical arms reached out from the station and grabbed the hull. Yuna's team connected cables and data lines. Everything seemed normal. Down in the medical bay, Dr. Sun Mi was preparing for the expected guests. She had studied alien biology for 20 years. She was excited to finally meet some of the Council's species in person. Her team arranged equipment and supplies, making sure everything was perfect. In the security section, Sergeant Dae Hwan checked his team's equipment. He was a careful man, trained in Earth's special forces before joining the space fleet. Something felt wrong to him, but he could not explain what. He told his people to stay alert, just in case. The ceremony began 2 hours later. Tae and his senior officers were invited to the station's main hall. It was beautiful. Thousands of aliens from dozens of species filled the room. Music played. Food and drinks were everywhere. Everyone seemed happy. Velthara gave a long speech about friendship and cooperation. She talked about how humanity would bring new ideas to the Council. She promised peace and prosperity. The crowd cheered. Tai felt his worries fade away. Maybe Dai Hwan was wrong. Maybe everything really was going to be fine. Then Velthara's expression changed. Her smile disappeared. Her eyes turned cold. "But first," she said, her voice now hard and sharp, "we must discuss a problem." The room went silent. Tae felt his stomach tighten. Something was very wrong. "Humanity has grown too fast," Velthara continued. "Your technology advances too quickly. Your population expands without control. Your ships are too powerful. We cannot allow this to continue." Tae stood up. "What are you talking about? We followed all your rules. We stayed in our approved zones. We never threatened anyone." Velthara laughed. It was not a kind laugh. "Did you really think we brought you here as equals? Humans are dangerous. You are creative and stubborn and refuse to accept limits. We have been planning this since we first met you." Suddenly, alarms screamed on Tae's communicator. Jin Woo's voice came through, panicked and scared. "Captain! The station activated some kind of electromagnetic field. Our systems are shutting down. The engines are dead. Weapons are offline. We're trapped!" Tae grabbed Velthara by her uniform. "What have you done?" Guards pulled him away. They were huge insect-like creatures called Vexnari. Their strength was incredible. Tay could not break free. "We have disabled your precious mothership," Velthera said calmly. "We have also destroyed most of your fleet across the galaxy. Right now, 500 Council warships surround your vessel. Your crew is trapped. Your people on Earth are alone. Humanity's journey to the stars ends today." "Why?" Tay demanded. "We did nothing to you." "You existed," Velthara replied. "That was enough. In 100 years, you went from primitive aircraft to faster-than-light travel. In 50 more years, you built this monster of a ship. In another century, you would challenge our power. We could not allow that." Back on the ship, chaos erupted. Yuna ran through the engineering sections, trying to understand what happened. Every major system was locked down. Strange computer code filled her screens. It was alive somehow, spreading through their networks like a disease. The Kryn had infected their ship with a techno-organic virus. Jinwu organized the crew. People were scared and confused. Some were crying. Others were angry. He tried to keep everyone calm, but he was just as frightened as they were. Dr. Sunmi watched from the medical bay windows as Council warships moved into position around them. They formed a perfect cage. There was no escape. De Juan gathered his security team. "I knew something was wrong," he said. "Get weapons. Secure the important areas. We're not giving up without a fight." On the station, Velthera continued talking to Tay. "You have 72 hours to surrender completely. You will order all humans to return to Earth. You will destroy your weapons. You will accept our control. If you refuse, we will begin executing your crew members, one every hour, until you agree." Tay's mind raced. 2 million people depended on him. Earth's future depended on him. But he would not let humanity become slaves. "You made a mistake," he said quietly. Velthara tilted her head. "What mistake?" "You think we're weak because we value life. You think we'll surrender to save our people. But you don't understand humans at all." Tay looked directly into her eyes. "We survived ice ages and plagues and wars. We split the atom and touched the stars. We don't break, we don't quit, and we definitely don't forgive betrayal." Velthara laughed again. "Brave words from a man in chains. Your ship is dead. Your fleet is destroyed. You are alone." "We'll see," Tay said. Back on Eternal Horizon, Yuna sat in a dark engineering room, staring at her screens. Most systems were locked, but not all. She noticed something strange. Some old analog systems still worked. The Kryn virus could only affect digital technology. She smiled for the first time since the betrayal. Humans always built backups, always planned for failure, always prepared for the worst. She opened a hidden panel and pulled out an old-fashioned tablet. It was completely isolated from the main network. On it were the ship's original building plans, including something the Council did not know about. Secret maintenance tunnels ran through the entire ship. They were built using special materials that blocked alien sensors. The Council could not see them, could not detect them. Yuna grabbed her communicator and sent a simple message to De Juan. "I found something. Meet me at Section 12. Come alone. Tell no one." She looked at the dead screens around her and whispered to herself, "They forgot that humans don't build cages they can't escape from." De Juan moved carefully through the dark corridors. The emergency lights gave only a dim red glow. Most crew members were locked in their quarters by Council orders. Alien guards patrolled the main hallways, but Juan knew other ways to move around. He found Yuna in a small maintenance room. She was working on an old computer terminal, her face lit by the blue screen. "What did you find?" Juan asked quietly. Yuna pulled up a map of the ship. "Look at this. When we built Eternal Horizon, I insisted on backup systems, not digital backups, physical ones. These tunnels run through the whole ship." She pointed to thin lines on the map. They're made from materials that the Council's scanners can't detect. We can move anywhere without them knowing. Juan studied the map carefully. His military mind immediately saw the possibilities. We can organize resistance, move supplies, coordinate attacks. Exactly, Yuna said. But there's more. I've been checking the systems that still work. The Kryn virus infected our main computers, but it's not perfect. Some isolated systems are still functioning. She typed on the keyboard. Another screen appeared. Our ship's AI area is still partially active. She's been playing dead, hiding from the virus. I managed to contact her through this old terminal. The screen flickered. Text appeared. Hello, Chief Engineer Yuna. I have been waiting for you. Juan stepped closer. Can she help us? I've been studying the Kryn virus for 47 days, Arya's text continued. I understand how it works now. I can remove it, but I need massive amounts of power. A surge strong enough to reset all core systems at once. Yuna nodded slowly. The emergency fusion cores. If we activate all of them together, that would give enough power. But the Council will detect it immediately, Juan said. Every ship out there will know what we're doing. I know, Yuna replied. We need time to prepare first. We need to organize everyone, build weapons, gather intelligence on the enemy. Then, when we're ready, we make our move. Juan agreed. I'll start spreading the word, quietly. Only people we can trust. Over the next 2 weeks, a secret resistance formed. Juan used the hidden tunnels to contact crew members across all sections of the ship. Yuna provided maps and equipment. Slowly, carefully, they built a network. Dr. Sun Mi joined the resistance after Council guards destroyed her medical supplies during a random inspection. She was angry and ready to fight. Her knowledge of alien biology became valuable. She started studying captured Council technology, looking for weaknesses. Jin Woo remained on the bridge under guard, but he found ways to help. He memorized patrol patterns and security codes. He passed information through trusted crew members during shift changes. Captain Tay was held in a locked room on Nexus Station. They gave him food and water, but nothing else. Every day, Velthara visited him with the same demand: surrender humanity's freedom or watch his crew die. Tay refused every time. He knew his people. They would find a way. They always did. On day 16 of captivity, the executions began. Velthara chose 5 crew members at random. They were brought to the main hangar where everyone could see. A Vex-Nari enforcer killed them quickly with energy weapons. The crew watched in horror. Some cried, others screamed in rage. But the killings had an unexpected effect. Instead of breaking their spirit, it made them harder, more determined. The Council had made a terrible mistake. That night, Juan gathered the resistance leaders in a hidden meeting room deep in the tunnel system. There were 20 people now, department heads, engineers, soldiers, scientists. They killed our people, Juan said. His voice was cold and angry. They think this will make us afraid. They're wrong. It makes us ready. Yuna spread out technical drawings on the table. I finished the plans to activate the fusion cores. It will work. But we need to be prepared for what comes next. The moment we bring our systems back online, we'll be in a fight. Dr. Sun Mi added her report. I've been studying the Kryn energy weapons we captured from the guards. Their technology is actually less advanced than I thought. They rely on old designs because they never innovate. We can improve on it. She showed them modified weapons her team had built. These will work better than the originals. Jin Woo contributed what he learned from the bridge. The Council has 500 ships around us, but they're spread out. They're not expecting a fight. They think we're beaten. That's our advantage. Juan looked at each person. If we do this, some of us will die. Maybe many of us. Are you ready for that? Everyone nodded. A young engineer named Bora spoke up. My brother was one of the 5 they killed. I'm ready. Others shared similar stories. The Council's cruelty had created exactly what they feared, desperate humans with nothing to lose. "Then we start preparing," Juan decided. "Yuna, get those fusion cores ready. Sunmi, make as many weapons as you can. Everyone else, spread the word. In 1 week, we fight back." The resistance worked day and night. They moved through the tunnels like ghosts, invisible to Council sensors. They gathered supplies, built weapons, and prepared for battle. Arya helped coordinate everything. Her connection to Yuna's terminal grew stronger each day. She had nearly finished breaking the Kryn virus code. Soon, she would be ready. On day 23, something unexpected happened. Juan's team captured a council guard who got separated from his patrol. He was a young Kryn soldier named Thex. Instead of killing him, Dr. Sunmi questioned him. "Why are you doing this?" she asked. "Why attack us?" Thex seemed confused by the question. "Because the council ordered it. The Kryn always follow orders." "But we never threatened you. We wanted peace." Thex looked uncomfortable. "The council says humans are dangerous, that you'll destroy everything if you're not controlled." Sunmi leaned forward. "Do I look dangerous to you? Do any of us?" Thex did not answer. For the first time, doubt showed in his alien eyes. They let him go. He returned to his unit but said nothing about his capture. Sunmi hoped their conversation made him think. Maybe not all council species supported this war. Meanwhile, Jinwoo made a breakthrough on the bridge. He discovered that Arya had secretly connected to other human ships scattered across the galaxy. The destroyer Dauntless was still out there. So was the science vessel Kepler and the mining ship Iron Will. The Council had not destroyed everything. The other ships were organizing too. They were planning to help when Eternal Horizon made its move. Humanity was not as alone as the Council believed. Captain Tay learned about the resistance through coded messages hidden in his food deliveries. A kitchen worker loyal to humanity smuggled tiny notes inside bread rolls. Tay read them and ate the paper immediately. He learned about the fusion cores, the weapons, the hidden tunnels. He learned his crew was fighting back. Pride filled his chest. These were his people, his family. They would never surrender. When Velthara came for her daily visit, Tay smiled at her for the first time. "Something amusing?" she asked coldly. "Just thinking about the future," Tay said. "You made a speech about how humanity is dangerous, how we don't accept limits, how we're creative and stubborn." "Yes, that is why you must be controlled." Tay's smile grew wider. "You were right about all of that. But you forgot the most important thing about humans." "What is that?" "We don't build cages we can't escape from, and we definitely don't stay in cages others put us in." Velthara stared at him, trying to understand the warning, but she dismissed it. Humans were trapped, helpless. What could they possibly do? She would find out soon enough. In the engineering section, Yuna made final preparations on the fusion cores. Everything was ready. The moment they activated, Arya would purge the virus and restore full power. Then the real fight would begin. Juan assembled his security forces. They had 300 trained fighters now, armed with improved weapons. Not enough to win a normal battle, but humans did not fight normally. Dr. Sunmi finished her last batch of equipment. She had created medical supplies, weapons, and tools they would need. Her team was ready. Jinwoo waited on the bridge, watching the guards, memorizing every detail. Soon he would need to act fast. In his cell, Captain Tay prepared himself mentally. He did not know exactly when the attack would come, but he knew it would. His crew would never give up. He would be ready to do his part. The countdown had begun. In 72 hours, humanity would break its chains. The meeting room was crowded with resistance leaders. Dai Huan stood at the head of the table, looking at each face. These were brave people who chose to fight instead of surrender. "The time has come to make a decision," Juan said. "Chief Engineer Yuna can activate the fusion cores. Area can purge the virus. But the moment we do this, every council ship will know. We'll be in a fight for our lives. The question is simple. Do we stay hidden and slowly die, or do we fight?" Nobody spoke at first. The weight of the choice pressed down on everyone. Fighting meant risking everything. Many would die. Maybe everyone would die. Then Bora, the young engineer who lost her brother, stood up. "I vote we fight. My brother didn't die so we could become slaves. He died believing in humanity's freedom. I won't let that be for nothing." One by one, others stood. A doctor named Hana, a pilot called Doyon, a maintenance worker named Junho, security officers and scientists and ordinary crew members, they all stood together. "Humanity doesn't hide," someone said. "We fight." The vote was unanimous. Juan nodded slowly. "Then we prepare. Yuna, how long until the cores are ready?" 6 hours, Yuna replied. "I need to do final checks. Once we start, there's no going back." "Sunmi, are the weapons ready?" Dr. Sunmi confirmed. "We have enough for the first wave. My teams will keep building more during the battle." "Jin Woo, what's happening on the bridge?" Jin Woo had managed to attend the meeting through the tunnels. "Council guards change shifts in 5 hours. That's our best window. The new guards will be tired and less alert." "Perfect," Juan said. "Here's the plan. At exactly 0600 hours, Yuna activates the cores. Area purges the virus. The second our systems come online, we attack the council forces on our ship. We take back the bridge first, then engineering, then weapons control. Jin Woo will lead the bridge assault. I'll handle engineering. Sunmi, you coordinate medical support and keep making weapons." He looked around the room. "This is it. Tell your teams. Prepare yourselves. In 6 hours, we take back our ship." As people left to prepare, Yuna pulled Juan aside. "What about the captain? He's still on the station." "I know," Juan said quietly, "but we can't wait. Tai would want us to save the ship first. We'll get him back after." Yuna nodded, though she hated leaving their captain behind. The next 6 hours passed slowly. Crew members prepared in secret, gathering in hidden locations throughout the ship. They said goodbye to loved ones, wrote final messages, checked their weapons. In his cell, Captain Tay sensed something was about to happen. He had no proof, just instinct. The air felt different, tense, ready. On Eternal Horizon's bridge, Jin Woo pretended to work at his station. 6 guards watched the crew. They looked bored. They had been here for weeks with no trouble. They did not expect humans to fight back. Jin Woo checked his watch. 5 minutes until 0600. His heart pounded. He had hidden a small weapon under his console. Other crew members on the bridge had done the same. They were all ready. In engineering, Yuna stood before the fusion core controls. Her hands shook slightly. Aria's text appeared on her private screen. "I am ready, Chief Engineer. On your command." Juan crouched in a tunnel near engineering with 50 armed fighters. They wore dark clothing and carried the modified weapons Sunmi had built. They were silent and focused. Throughout the ship, 300 resistance members waited in position. They knew their jobs. They knew the risks. They were ready. Yuna watched the clock tick down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. She pressed the activation sequence. Deep in the ship's core, 6 massive fusion reactors roared to life simultaneously. They had been built to provide emergency power if the main systems failed. Now they generated more energy than the ship normally used in a month. The power surge was enormous. It rushed through every cable and circuit in the 40-kilometer vessel. Lights blazed on across sections that had been dark for weeks. Computers sparked and rebooted. Engines hummed with renewed life. Aria used the surge like a weapon. She was ready for this moment. The Kryn virus had infected the ship's systems, spreading through networks like a disease. But Arya understood it now. She knew every part of its code. The surge gave her the power she needed. She attacked the virus from 1,000 directions at once. She isolated infected sections and purged them clean. She rebuilt corrupted files and restored locked systems. In less than 30 seconds, the virus was gone. Systems all over the ship came back online, weapon batteries powered up, shield generators activated, main engines prepared for thrust, communications opened. Sensors cleared. On the Council warships surrounding Eternal Horizon, alarms screamed. Sensors detected the massive power spike. Officers shouted orders. Ships moved to battle positions. But they were too slow. Arya had spent weeks planning this moment. She knew exactly where every enemy ship was positioned. She had calculated firing solutions for all of them. "Welcome back to the fight, humanity." Arya's voice spoke through every speaker on the ship. It was the first time most crew members had heard her speak in weeks. Hope surged through them like the power that now filled their vessel. On the bridge, Jin Woo moved the instant the lights came on. He grabbed his hidden weapon and shot the nearest guard. The Vexnari fell before it could react. Other crew members fired at the remaining guards. The bridge erupted in chaos. The fight was brutal but quick. Humans fought with desperation and rage. The guards had not expected resistance. Within 2 minutes, the bridge was secure. Bodies lay on the floor. Some were council guards. Some were human crew members who died fighting for freedom. Jin Woo took the captain's chair, blood on his uniform. "Arya, full tactical display. Show me everything." The main screen lit up with data. 500 council ships formed a cage around them. The nearest ones were already charging weapons. "All gun batteries target the closest enemies," Jin Woo ordered. "Fire when ready." Eternal Horizon's weapons unleashed hell. Railguns spat metal slugs at incredible speeds. Missile batteries launched hundreds of warheads. Point defense lasers created a deadly web around the ship. The first salvo caught the Council fleet completely unprepared. 3 ships exploded immediately. 5 more took critical damage. The Council had expected a trapped, helpless victim. They got a fully armed battleship instead. In engineering, Juan's assault team burst from the tunnels. Council guards tried to stop them but were overwhelmed. Humans fought in close quarters with weapons and bare hands. They knew every corridor and access point. The aliens did not. Yuna directed the battle from her control center. She rerouted power to weapons and shields. She pushed the engines beyond their normal limits. The ship responded beautifully. She had built it well. Dr. Sunmi's medical teams set up emergency stations throughout the ship. Wounded fighters were dragged in constantly. She worked fast, saving who she could, mourning those she could not. A massive Kryn commander named Thrallgax led the occupation forces inside the ship. He rallied his troops and launched a counterattack. The fighting intensified. Corridors became battlegrounds. Both sides took heavy casualties. Juan confronted Thrallgax in a main engineering corridor. They fought hand-to-hand, human against alien. Thrallgax was bigger and stronger. Juan was faster and more skilled. The battle raged for long minutes until Juan finally drove a blade into the commander's throat. Thrallgax fell, choking on his own blood. "Impossible," he gasped. "Humans are weak." "We're tougher than we look," Juan said coldly. Outside the ship, the space battle continued. Council warships fired everything they had at Eternal Horizon. Energy beams and missiles hammered the shields. But Arya directed the defenses perfectly. She knew exactly where each shot would come from before the enemies fired. Jin Woo coordinated with Arya, implementing tactics no council commander would expect. They used the nearby station's gravity well to slingshot debris at enemy ships. They hacked into council communications, creating confusion and false orders. They launched simple missiles that Arya controlled manually, making them unpredictable and deadly. Then something amazing happened. 3 human ships dropped out of faster-than-light travel near the battlefield. The destroyer Dauntless, the science vessel Kepler, and the mining ship Iron Will had survived. They had been planning their own resistance. When they detected Eternal Horizon's power surge, they came to help. Captain Jin Woo. "This is Dauntless Actual," a voice came over communications. "We brought friends. Every human ship that survived is rallying to your position." More ships appeared. Small vessels, large ones, military and civilian. 47 human ships total. Against 500 Council warships, it should have meant nothing. But humans did not fight by the rules. The human fleet attacked with coordinated fury. They used unconventional tactics and desperate courage. They rammed enemy ships when out of ammunition. They sacrificed themselves to save others. They fought like cornered animals with nothing to lose. Captain Tay heard the battle from his cell. Explosions echoed through the station. He heard human voices on the communications systems. His people were fighting. He smiled. When a distracted guard opened his cell to check on him, Tay attacked. He was older now, but still dangerous. He took the guard's weapon and escaped into the station corridors. Back on Eternal Horizon, the tide was turning. More Council ships fell than human ones. The rigid battle doctrines of the Council could not adapt to human creativity. They fought the way they always had. Humans fought to win. Jin Woo received a communication from the Council fleet commander. It was Velthara. Her face appeared on screen, no longer calm and superior. She looked shocked and afraid. "This is impossible," she said. "You were beaten, helpless." Jin Woo smiled coldly. "You don't know humans very well. We're never beaten while we can still fight, and we can always fight." "I'll destroy you all." "You'll try," Jin Woo replied, "but I don't think you'll succeed. See, you made a mistake. You thought breaking our chains would be hard, but humans have been breaking chains since we first stood upright. It's what we do best." He cut the transmission and turned to his crew. "All batteries, focus fire. Let's show them what happens when you betray humanity." The battle raged for hours. Space around Nexus Station became a graveyard of broken ships. Debris floated everywhere, metal fragments, frozen bodies, spent missiles. The darkness was lit by explosions and weapons fire. On Eternal Horizon's bridge, Jin Woo coordinated the defense with cold precision. Area fed him constant tactical data. Enemy positions, weapon status, shield strength. Together, they fought like one mind controlling a massive ship. "Incoming missiles, Section 7, Area reported. "Point defense, intercept," Jin Woo ordered. "Lasers destroyed the missiles before they hit." "Return fire, railguns 3 through 9. Metal slugs tore through space at incredible speed. They punched through a Kryn cruiser's shields and ripped open its hull. The enemy ship vented atmosphere and spun away, dead in space. But the Council had numbers on their side. For every ship humans destroyed, 3 more took its place. Eternal Horizon's shields were holding, but they would not last forever. "Shield strength at 60%, Area warned. "We have taken damage to sections 12 and 15. Hull breaches on decks 42 and 43. "Seal those sections," Jin Woo said. "Reroute power from non-essential systems to shields." Below decks, Yuna worked frantically to keep the ship running. Her engineering teams patched damage as fast as it occurred. When a power conduit exploded, they replaced it. When a system failed, they fixed it. They had built this ship. They knew every centimeter of it. "Boss, we're running hot," one of her team members reported. "The main engines are at 130% capacity. They're not designed for this." "I know," Yuna said, sweat dripping down her face. "But if we reduce power, we die. Keep them running. Do whatever it takes." In the medical bay, Dr. Sun-Mi worked on her 20th patient. A young security officer had been hit by energy fire. His left arm was badly burned. Sun-Mi injected pain medication and applied artificial skin. The officer would live, but he would never use that arm normally again. "You did good," Sunmi told him. "Rest now." "No time to rest, Doctor," the officer said through gritted teeth. "Give me a weapon for my right hand. I can still fight." That was the spirit throughout the ship. Wounded crew members refused to stay down. They returned to battle as soon as they could stand. They fought with broken bones and burns and exhaustion. They fought because surrender meant slavery or death. On the station, Captain Tay moved through the corridors like a ghost. He had stolen a council uniform and walked among enemy soldiers. They did not look closely at faces. They assumed anyone in uniform was one of them. Tay found a communication station and sent a coded message to Eternal Horizon. "This is Captain Kang Tay. I am alive and active on the station, preparing to assist. Give them hell, people." When Jinwoo received the message, he smiled for the first time in hours. "Aria, open a channel to the fleet. All human ships." His voice broadcast to every friendly vessel in the battle. "This is Acting Captain Jinwoo. Captain Tay is alive and fighting on the station. Let's make sure he has a ship to come back to. All vessels, new tactical formation Delta 7. We're going to break their blockade." The human fleet responded immediately. They formed a tight spearhead formation with Eternal Horizon at the center. The smaller ships protected the mothership's damaged sections, while she provided heavy fire support. Together, they drove forward like a blade. Council ships tried to stop them, but could not match the coordination. Aria controlled the timing perfectly. When the human fleet fired, they fired as one. The combined attack was devastating. A hole opened in the Council blockade. 36 enemy ships were destroyed or disabled in minutes. The human fleet pushed through, gaining space to maneuver. Inside Eternal Horizon, De Huan finally cleared the last pocket of resistance. Council troops who had occupied the ship were dead or captured. Human losses were heavy, over 3,000 dead, 5,000 wounded. But the ship was theirs again. Huan stood in the main hangar, surrounded by bodies, human and alien both. He felt sick looking at the cost of freedom, but he pushed the feeling down. There would be time to mourn later. Right now, he needed to fight. "All security teams, report status," he ordered over his communicator. The reports came in. Every major section was secure. Remaining enemy soldiers were isolated and surrounded. The ship was back in human hands. Huan made his way to the bridge. When he arrived, Jinwoo was still directing the battle. The young officer looked exhausted but determined. "Status?" Huan asked. "We're holding," Jinwoo replied. "Barely. The Council fleet is down to about 400 ships. We've lost 18 vessels. Eternal Horizon has taken significant damage, but she's still fighting. What do you need?" "Time. If we can hold out for another hour, Council resolve will break. They're not used to enemies that fight back this hard." Huan nodded and took a position at the weapons console. He had fought on the ground. Now he would fight in space. The battle continued. Every minute felt like an hour. Every explosion could be the one that killed them all. But humans kept fighting. Dr. Sunmi had a breakthrough in her makeshift laboratory. She was studying captured Kryn technology when she noticed something. The energy shields the Council used had a specific frequency. If she could generate the opposite frequency, she could cancel out their shields completely. She rushed to share her discovery with Yuna. "Can you build a device that does this?" Yuna looked at the data. Her tired mind worked through the math. "Yes. It will take most of our remaining power reserves. We can only fire it once. But it would work." "Tell Jinwoo," Sunmi said. On the bridge, Jinwoo listened to the plan. It was risky. If they used all their power for one weapon, they would be helpless afterward. But if it worked, they could destroy multiple enemy ships at once. "Do it," he decided. "We didn't come this far to be cautious now." Yuna and her team built the device in 40 minutes. It was crude and ugly, barely held together with magnetic clamps and spare parts. But Sunmi's math said it would work. They mounted it on the ship's forward section. Arya calculated the firing solution. They would target the center of the Council fleet, where the largest concentration of ships protected their command vessel. "All human ships pull back," Jin Woo ordered. "Get clear of our firing line." The fleet withdrew. Council commanders thought the humans were retreating. They pressed their advantage, moving forward to finish the kill. They were wrong. "Fire," Jin Woo said quietly. The device activated. It looked like a wave of distorted space radiating outward from Eternal Horizon. When it hit Council shields, they simply vanished. Gone. Every shield within range failed simultaneously. "All weapons! Fire everything!" Jin Woo shouted. Eternal Horizon and the human fleet unleashed every weapon they had: missiles, railguns, lasers, kinetic weapons, everything. The shieldless Council ships were torn apart. 27 vessels died in seconds. 30 more were crippled. The Council fleet broke. Ships began retreating. Their formation collapsed. Organized battle became chaotic flight. "They're running!" someone on the bridge shouted. "Pursue them!" Jin Woo ordered. "Don't let them regroup." The human fleet chased the fleeing enemy. They destroyed ships that were too slow or too damaged to escape. The Council's perfect blockade became a routed mob. On the station, Captain Tay made his move. He had found the main power control. He planted explosives he had stolen from a weapons locker. When he triggered them, half the station lost power. In the confusion, Tay fought his way to the docking bay. A small Council shuttle was waiting there. He killed the guards, took the shuttle, and launched toward his ship. Velthara watched from the station's command center as her fleet fell apart. She could not believe it. 500 ships against fewer than 50, and the humans were winning. It was impossible. It went against everything the Council believed about warfare. "All ships, regroup!" she ordered desperately. "Reform the blockade!" But her commanders did not listen. They had seen too many ships die. They had faced an enemy that refused to be beaten. Fear replaced discipline. Velthara's communications officer spoke quietly. "Ambassador, we're receiving messages from some of our ships. They're asking permission to surrender." "Denied. We are the Galactic Council. We do not surrender to lesser species." But it did not matter what she said. The fleet was broken. Her authority meant nothing now. Captain Tay's shuttle approached Eternal Horizon. "This is Captain Kang Tay requesting permission to dock." "Permission granted, sir," Jin Woo replied. "Welcome home." Tay landed in the main hangar and ran to the bridge. When he arrived, the crew stood and saluted. He looked around at the tired, bloody, determined faces. These were his people. They had fought without him and won. "Status report," Tay said, taking his chair back. Jin Woo summarized the battle, the casualties, the damage, the victory. Tay absorbed it all. 15,000 crew members dead, the ship badly damaged. But they were free. They had broken the Council's chains. "What are your orders, Captain?" Jin Woo asked. Tay looked at the main screen. Council ships were still retreating. The battle was essentially over, but the war was not. "Open a channel. All Council ships." Velthara's face appeared on screen. She looked broken, defeated. "This is Captain Kang Tay of the Eternal Horizon," he said. His voice was hard as steel. "You betrayed us. You attacked us. You killed our people. You thought you could break humanity. You were wrong." "This changes nothing," Velthara said, but her voice lacked conviction. "The Council will send more ships, bigger fleets. You cannot win." "Maybe not," Tay admitted, "but we'll fight anyway. That's what humans do. We don't quit, we don't bow, we don't forget betrayal, and we definitely don't forgive it. Tell your Council that humanity is coming. Tell them we're done being the galaxy's victims. The age of the Council is over." He closed the channel and turned to his crew. Take us home. We need to warn Earth and prepare. This war has just begun." 3 months passed like a storm. Humanity had not been idle. Eternal Horizon returned to Earth's orbital shipyards for repairs. The damage was extensive, but human engineers worked around the clock. They fixed hull breaches, replaced destroyed systems, and upgraded weapons. The ship that emerged was stronger than before, but more importantly, humanity built new ships. Every nation on Earth contributed resources. Factories ran day and night. Shipyards in orbit and on the moon worked at maximum capacity. The fleet grew rapidly. Captain Kang Tae stood in the war room on Eternal Horizon, looking at a holographic map of known space. Red markers showed Council-controlled territory. Blue markers showed human-controlled space. Green markers showed something new, allied worlds. "Reports are coming in from the frontier colonies," said Jin Woo, now promoted to commander. "The Council tried to occupy them, but we drove them back. All human colonies are secure." Dai Huan, promoted to major, added his report. "Our new fleet is ready. 200 ships. Not all are as big as Eternal Horizon, but they're well-armed and well-trained. The crew members are angry and motivated. They all lost someone in the initial attacks." Dr. Sunmi entered the room carrying data tablets. "I have good news. The species we liberated from Council control are sharing their technology with us. We're combining the best of everyone's knowledge. Our new weapons are more advanced than anything the Council has." Chief Engineer Hai Yuna pulled up new ship designs. "Look at this. We built the new generation destroyers using lessons from the battle. They're faster, stronger, and have better shields. The Council's technology is stagnant. Ours is evolving." Tae studied the information. In 3 months, humanity had transformed from victims to a military power. But it was not just about ships and weapons. Something deeper had changed. "What about the Free Worlds Coalition?" Tae asked. Commander Jin Woo brought up a new display. Growing every day, the Vexenari worker class rebelled against their warrior leaders. They remembered how we treated our prisoners with respect. They want peace, not war. The Thalani star systems declared independence from the Kryn Empire. 6 other species have joined our alliance. It was true. The Council's betrayal of humanity had exposed its true nature to other species. The galaxy watched as humans fought back against impossible odds and won. Oppressed species saw hope. Maybe they could fight too. Maybe they could be free. The Free Worlds Coalition was formed on Earth, with representatives from a dozen species. They established simple principles: equality, freedom, cooperation, and mutual defense. No species would dominate others. No empire would enslave the weak. These ideas were dangerous to the Council. Their entire power structure was based on hierarchy and control. The coalition threatened everything they built over thousands of years. Now, 3 months after the escape from Nexus Station, the Council demanded a final confrontation. They gathered their remaining loyal fleets at the Syrinx Nebula. It was a strategic location, controlling access to multiple trade routes and systems. The Council sent a message to Earth. "Fight us here, or we will burn every human colony in the galaxy." Tae did not hesitate. "We accept. Gather the fleet. Send word to our allies. We end this now." The Free Worlds Coalition responded to humanity's call. The Vexenari sent their new civilian defense fleet. The Thalani contributed their fast attack ships. Other species provided support vessels, medical ships, and supplies. When the coalition fleet assembled, it numbered 800 ships. Against them, the Council had gathered 2,000 vessels. The Council still had superior numbers, but they no longer had the advantage of surprise or fear. The two fleets faced each other across the swirling clouds of the Syrinx Nebula. The nebula's gases created sensor interference and navigation hazards. It was a dangerous battlefield, which was exactly why the Council chose it. Tay stood on Eternal Horizon's bridge in his captain's uniform. Around him, his command crew prepared for battle. These were the people who had fought with him, bled with him, survived with him. He trusted them completely. "Area, status report," Tay ordered. The ship's AI responded immediately. Her voice was calm and confident. "All systems operational, Captain. Coalition fleet is in formation. Enemy fleet is maintaining position at the nebula's edge. They're waiting for us to enter first. They want to use the nebula against us," Jin Woo observed. "The interference will make coordination harder. Then we use it against them instead," Tay said. "Area, you've mapped the nebula's currents and gas density, correct?" "Yes, Captain. I have complete tactical data." "Share it with the Coalition fleet, not with the Council. Let them stumble around blind while we move with confidence." It was a simple advantage, but in battle, small advantages made the difference between victory and defeat. The Coalition fleet entered the nebula in a coordinated formation. Arya guided them through the densest gas clouds, using the interference to mask their true numbers and positions. To Council sensors, the Coalition appeared fragmented and disorganized. The Council fleet moved to attack what they thought was an easy target. They entered the nebula confidently, expecting to crush separated groups of ships. They were wrong. The Coalition ships were exactly where they needed to be. As Council vessels pushed into the gas clouds, they found themselves surrounded. The battle began with devastating fury. Eternal Horizon led the center formation. Her massive guns targeted the largest Council warships. Rail guns fired at incredible speed, punching through shields and armor. Missiles created deadly patterns in space. Point defense lasers protected against incoming fire. Commander Jin Woo coordinated with the Coalition fleet using Arya's communication network. Vexenari ships, flank left. Thalani attack group, hit their right wing. Human destroyers, follow Eternal Horizon's lead. The coordination was perfect. Each species used their strengths. Vexenari ships were heavily armored and drew enemy fire. Thalani vessels were fast and struck weak points. Human ships were versatile and adapted to changing situations. Major Dai Huan controlled the fighter wings. Hundreds of small attack craft swarmed through the nebula. They were too small for capital ships to target effectively. They destroyed communications arrays, weapon systems, and engines. Like insects bringing down large prey, they crippled ship after ship. Dr. Sun Mi's new weapons proved their worth. Energy disruptors that penetrated Council shields, smart missiles that could navigate the nebula's interference, electromagnetic pulse bombs that disabled entire groups of enemy vessels. Human innovation combined with alien technology created devastating effectiveness. But the Council fought hard too. They had experience and numbers. They concentrated fire on Coalition ships, destroying them one by one. The battle became a grinding war of attrition. Yuna pushed Eternal Horizon's systems to their absolute limits. "Captain, we're running hot again. The main guns need a cooldown or they'll burn out." "How long can we keep firing?" Tay asked. 5 more minutes at current rate. Then we make those 5 minutes count. Area, target their command ship. Full alpha strike." Every weapon on Eternal Horizon focused on one target, the massive Kryn Imperial flagship that commanded the Council fleet. Hundreds of projectiles and missiles converged on the enemy vessel. Its shields held for exactly 4 seconds. Then they failed. The flagship's armor cracked. Explosions rippled through its hull. The great ship, symbol of Council power, broke apart and died. The Council fleet wavered. Their commander was dead. Their flagship was destroyed. Fear spread through their ranks. Tay saw the opening. "All Coalition ships, full assault! Break their formation!" The Coalition charged forward with renewed energy. They fought with hope and determination. The Council fought with fear and doubt. The battle raged for 6 more hours. Ships on both sides died by the dozens. The nebula became a graveyard. But slowly, steadily, the Council fleet collapsed. Some Council ships surrendered. Others fled. The most fanatical fought to the death. By the end, over half the Council fleet was destroyed or captured. The Coalition had won, but the cost was terrible. Tay watched the casualty reports scroll across his screen. 200 Coalition ships destroyed. 60,000 people dead. Eternal Horizon had survived, but was badly damaged again. So many sacrifices. So much death. But they were free. The Council's power was broken. The galaxy would never be the same. A communication came from one of the surviving Council commanders. It was a Kryn admiral named Shektar. His face showed shock and resignation. On behalf of the remaining Council forces, I request terms of surrender, he said formally. Tay considered carefully before responding. The Council is dissolved. Species under your control are now free to choose their own path. Council leaders who ordered the attack on humanity will stand trial for war crimes. Those who surrender peacefully will be treated with respect and dignity. We are not conquerors. We seek justice, not revenge. Shektar seemed surprised. You do not want our territory, our resources? We want peace, Tay said firmly. Real peace, based on equality and mutual respect, not the false peace the Council imposed through fear. The surrender was formalized in the following weeks. The Council's core worlds accepted the new reality. Some species joined the Free Worlds Coalition. Others chose independence. The important thing was that everyone had a choice. Humanity did not claim conquered territory. Instead, Dr. Sun Mi led an effort to share technology and knowledge with every species that wanted it. She believed that uplifting others, not suppressing them, was the path to lasting peace. She established the Coalition Academy on Earth's moon. Scientists from dozens of species came to learn and teach. They combined their knowledge, creating innovations none could achieve alone. The Vexnari, once feared warriors, became some of humanity's closest allies. They learned that strength could be used to protect, not oppress. Human and Vexnari crews served together on Coalition ships. Captain Tay received a message that brought tears to his eyes. His daughter Minji was alive. She had survived the initial attacks by hiding on a remote mining colony. Now she was coming home. When her ship docked with Eternal Horizon, Tay ran to the hangar. He had not seen her in 3 years. When she stepped off the transport, he hugged her tightly, unable to speak. I knew you'd come, Minji whispered. I knew you wouldn't give up. Never, Tay said. Humans don't give up. It's what we do best. Months later, Eternal Horizon was repaired and upgraded again. She was stronger than ever, a symbol of humanity's resilience. But Tay hoped she would never need to fight again. He stood on the bridge with his command crew. They had all been promoted, decorated, celebrated, but they were still the same people who fought together in the dark days. Aria's voice spoke softly. Captain, the Coalition Council is requesting our presence for the founding ceremony. Tell them we'll be there, Tay said. The ship turned toward Earth, leading a formation of Coalition vessels. As they flew, Tay reflected on everything that happened, the betrayal, the struggle, the battle, the victory. What will humanity do now? Arya asked. The galaxy is at peace. Your enemies are defeated. What comes next? Tay smiled. What we've always done. We survive, we adapt, we build, we reach for the stars, and we help others reach with us. We learned that strength without compassion is tyranny, but compassion without strength is weakness. We'll be both strong and kind. We'll protect the weak and oppose the tyrants. We'll explore and discover and create. He looked at the stars ahead. The Council's betrayal taught us an important lesson. We can't trust others to value our freedom. We have to protect it ourselves. But we also learned that freedom is worth fighting for, not just for ourselves, but for everyone. Jin Wu spoke up. The best revenge against the Council wasn't destroying them. It was proving them wrong. They said we were dangerous. They were right, but not in the way they thought. We're dangerous to oppression, to cruelty, to injustice. Exactly, Tay agreed. The best story of humanity isn't about revenge or conquest. It's about proving that you can be strong and compassionate, that you can fight for freedom without becoming tyrants yourselves. Eternal Horizon jumped to faster-than-light speed, leading the coalition fleet toward new frontiers. Behind them, the old order was gone. Ahead of them, a better future waited to be built. In the ruins of the Galactic Council's betrayal, humanity had helped birth something better. A galaxy where species cooperated instead of dominated, where strength served justice instead of oppression, where everyone reached for the stars together. It was not perfect. There would be challenges ahead. But for the first time in galactic history, there was real hope. And hope, as humans had proven, was the most dangerous weapon of all.